the first time in my life, after I closed the last volume available to read, I said to myself, this manga is a 10. This is by far the best manga I have read this year by a long shot. And it is the best manga you need to read this year if you've never checked out Witch Hat Atelier. Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, and my goals help you find great experiences for yourself and your family. There, I said it right from the beginning. Witch Hat Atelier is getting a GTP rating of 10 out of 10. This is a manga you need to check out right away. So let's go ahead and dive in on why this story is a 10 out of 10. When it comes to a good manga, the most important aspect to me is the storytelling. And our story starts with the journey of a young girl named Coco who dreams of being a witch, but was not born with magical powers. The world is to believe that unless born with magic, you can never be a witch. The hidden truth is that anyone can actually be a witch, and at one point, this secret was known to the entire world. In fact, it wasn't even a secret. Anyone could learn how to wield magic. The consequences of everyone being able to wield magic is what is known as the Age of Chaos, where the world was literally being destroyed by magic itself. So if a group of witches band together and decide to wipe the minds of the entire world to restart the world when it comes to who can and who can't wield magic. One day, Coco discovers that the secret to witches' magic is actually by drawing signs with a special ink. Coco draws signs from an old picture book and a pen that was given to her, not knowing that she is casting forbidden spells, and ends up accidentally turning her mom to stone. Instead of a witch choosing to wipe Coco's mind for her mistake, instead he feels sorry for her and chooses to take her under his wing so she can become a full-fledged witch with the hope of being able to restore her mom back from stone. The story hooks you in right away with a sense of awe and wonder. At the end of each volume is another cliffhanger that keeps you engaged and wanting more and more of the story. There wasn't a time where I didn't want to pick up another volume and keep reading this story. Here is a hot take. Witch Hat Atelier is the Harry Potter of manga. And as the story has progressed so far, it might even be a better story than Harry Potter itself. One reason why we're so taken into Harry Potter is its world building. Places like Diagon Alley and Hogwarts are places we all want to visit. I mean, we now have theme parks where you can actually go and visit Hogwarts. The same can be said about the world building and lore with Witch Hat Atelier. Terrific world building about the events that happened in the past that have affected the world today. The lore behind what happened to different civilizations in the past is excellent. I could enjoy an entire story just dedicated to more of the backstory of what happened before the event that caused all to not be aware of magic. There are underwater magical cities, civilizations that are now lost, and like Harry Potter, there are rules on what spells can be cast and which ones are considered forbidden. But in Witch Hat Atelier, instead of a one-way trip to Azkaban, a far more worse sentence, which is your memory is completely wiped. Now you have no idea what is true, what is false, and what actually could be. Witch Hat Atelier has many moments where good characters are questioning the rules of the world. There are spells that are forbidden, yet at the same time, if you use the spells, you could save the life of someone who is suffering. Yet the balance of the same coin is that spell that could save someone can also cause decay and destruction. And you can feel this tension through the entire story, where Coco had her dream come true of being a witch and now feels the same pain of those who desire to become witches themselves, but believe in the lie that unless you're born of magic, you can never be a witch. Each of us knows what it feels like to have our dreams taken away. When someone tells you you're not good enough, or it's just, it never will be. Yet we can see people who have been successful. We can see people who do have the skills, who do have the talent. And yet it can be so painful when you share those same dreams, yet you're told you'll never amount to them. And in this story, the truth behind is you really could achieve that dream if you wanted to. But instead, there's a veil around it masking what actually could be. As a reader, you feel the tension wondering yourself in these situations, would you follow the rules that were created, or would you bend them to your will for the sake of someone you love? An example of forbidden spells is spells cannot be cast on people. Could you imagine, let's say someone broke their arm permanently, they have no use of their left arm, yet you could cast a spell to completely restore that arm so that they could use it again. Would you do that, knowing the potential, if you were caught, you could lose your memory? The author has such clever writing. Without spoiling the story, one of the characters' backstory is a bit of a mystery, and the little bit that is revealed hooks you in wanting to know more. Between all the RPGs I played as a child, the movies I've watched, the manga I've read, even the author has surprised me by coming up with story ideas that took me back as a surprise, wondering why I had never seen this in a story before. This is not a Harry Potter ripoff, but stands tall on its own unique perspective and story capabilities. And I would take bad artwork with good storytelling any day of the week. But what is so captive about this story is not only do you have good storytelling, but you have some of the most beautiful art panels I have seen since reading Goodnight Poon Poon. Breathtaking landscapes, highly detailed pages. I turned the page and I would be like, wow. There is also a terrific cast of characters, with the main character, Coco, starts off innocent while the story progresses, never losing her sense of sweetness and charm as she weighs the tension of her actions and decisions. Beautifully written story that even moved me to tears. Author does a powerful job showing Coco's compassion for others that are suffering. You can feel the sadness in Coco she is feeling for those who have suffered hardship. Her facial expressions are also hilarious. The author does a great job not only having you care about Coco, but the other three main girls that are trained to be witches alongside her. Aga, Rich, and Tia each have their own past, ambitions, and goals in life. It was so powerful as you see them start to bond with one another and grow, almost becoming a family. Witch Hat Atelier is also full of life lessons and little nuggets of wisdom that you just can't help but stop and appreciate and think while reading the story. Such as the life lesson that one's ideas are just as important as those with skills. We need those with dreams and those who can make those dreams come off the ground. Our mind is just as important as our hands. We need both. One girl asks the question, being true to yourself is key. How do I listen to what adults say without losing my own identity? This girl's desire to solve problems in her own way and not the way she is told by adults. This is a powerful example that there are more than one way to travel for success. One example is an adult telling you you have to go to college to get a good job. Now that is one road to get a good job and to travel is college, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the road you choose to travel to still achieve your dream and have a good job, let alone that one you enjoy. It's better to travel a path you have decided for yourself than is decided for you. You may learn along the way, I wish I listened to the advice I was given and not go down this path. The good news is you have a long life. I rather live knowing that I tried something I wanted to do and failed than living with regret. I wonder what would have happened if I ever tried to do that thing, if I ever tried to chase that dream. At the end of the day, you are still you. It is not anyone else's job to define who you are going to be. but you yourself. And when it comes to age rating, the story is rated for those 10 and up, and I agree with this rating. My daughter has also fallen in love with the series. It is fun seeing your own child's eyes get very wide as they run to you with excitement to talk about what is happening in the story. Now, there is one chapter that does touch on sexual abuse, and Kodansha does a great job letting you know about the chapter and even lets you know it's okay to skip the chapter if needed. I thought the chapter did a good job being a voice for anyone who has been a survivor of abuse. Coco's passion and desire to reshape the world for those without hope is a powerful driving force through the entire story. With magic, dragons, knights, a secret society, beautiful artwork, powerful world building, good storytelling, what more do you want? With that said, again, this story easily deserves a GTP rating and a first for me, a 10 out of 10. There is so much mystery and good storytelling I'd love to dive deeper in, but I do not want to spoil this phenomenal story for you. This needs to be your next read, period. In the comments below, would you let me know if you have read this story and what did you think? Does the story deserve a 10 out of 10? Whether it's because of the artwork, whether it's the world building, whether it's the phenomenal cast of characters, or the story itself. I believe all encompassing together, this is the perfect story and needs to be your next read. If you'd like to see more content like this, if you've not done so already, would you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel? That helps others know about this thriving community that we are building together. I make this content for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.